everything that lovers of their hard-earned freedoms cherish: autonomy, freedom of conscience and inquiry, sovereignty of the people, human rights endowed at birth by nature, protection from tyranny, is gorgeously articulated in the canon of John Locke, Algernon Sidney, Thomas Jefferson, and the numerous philosophers who are revered for their advocacy of liberty. We are eternally indebted to them, and particularly Jefferson, for the precious but fragile freedoms we enjoy. Jefferson understood too well that suffocating tyranny could emerge in an instant. Therefore, those in power must be duly constrained and governments decentralized. Any appearance of statism, formerly localized in the forms of monarchical and theocratic symbioses, is an anathema to every intrinsic, inalienable right we deserve. The antithesis of everything Jefferson held dear is found within the pages of Leviathan by Thomas Hobbes, a tyrant's handbook for justifying statism. Hobbes' pessimistic concept is predicated on what he envisioned as the artificial man, a metaphor concocted to explain the condition of commonwealths. Comparing the mechanisms of biological life to those of fabricated automata, Hobbes' notion parallels scientific rationalism at its most soulless and reads like an airy forerunner to transhumanism. For what is the heart but a spring, Hobbes posits, and the nervous system but so many strings, and the joints but so many wheels giving motion to the whole body? Strict central authority was dictated by necessity, Hobbes insisted, to contain brutish men who would otherwise subsist in a state of anarchy. According to Hobbes, without dictatorships, mankind meandered through existence as inadequate machinery in need of structure, which was proffered by the Artificiall Soul, a centralized sovereign of each commonwealth who gave life and motion to the whole body. Similar to the divine right of kings, the Artificiall Soul magically transmigrated absolute power into Christian kings who were supported by the clergy, or any sovereign power found in either one man or in one assembly of men. Western civilization's remarkable progress in the quest for freedom was at the behest of Jefferson, the founders, the American Revolution, and millions of Europeans who rejected wholeheartedly the strangulation of Hobbesian-styled governments. As expected, Jefferson was repulsed by the Hobbesian model of society and made it his mission in life to destroy centralized tyrannical power in whatever form it manifested. Adamantly opposed to the idea of an indivisible government ruled by an iron fist, Jefferson would be horrified but not surprised by what is presently taking place in his beloved country and in various democratic nations. Our legislators are not sufficiently apprised of the rightful limits of their powers, that their true office is to declare and enforce only our natural rights and duties, and to take none of them from us, Jefferson wrote in 1816, and the dilemma remains with us today. No man has a natural right to commit aggression on the equal rights of another, and this is all from which the law ought to restrain him. The idea is quite unfounded that on entering into society we give up any natural right, Jefferson continued, espousing the ideal balanced system of government and freedom. He also mentions in the letter an acquaintance's upcoming study which he found upsetting, claiming, "I lament to see that he will adopt the principle of Hobbes, so humiliating to human nature that the sense of justice and injustice is not derived from our natural organization, but founded on convention only." Our perpetual dialectical schism between the forces of repressive authoritarianism and liberty continues ad infinitum. Since the advent of the 20th and 21st centuries, we have been assaulted by negative eugenics, warfare technologies, and have witnessed the explosion of populations. During the spans of Hobbes and Jefferson's generations, the population of the earth was infinitesimal in comparison to our world. In 1800, there were only 1 billion. They suffered incredible struggles, but were not prey to mass surveillance or dangerous technologies, inventions which have fallen into the hands of nefarious powers within every global nation. In the United States, officials sworn to serve the public are enemies of the Constitution, circumventing the Bill of Rights. And governments in the West are actively corroding hard-earned freedoms. Perhaps in due time, the unbearable weight under which gigantic empires are straining will crack them into pieces, and once again we can reinvent an Malthusian or Jeffersonian democratic nation.